the Pan-African Bank.
For the idea too bold to ignore.
The dream that keeps you up at night.
The plan that's waiting for the right moment.
Well, this is the best time to make your move with Stanbic. Our rates have dropped.
With our personal loans, vehicle loans, consumer finance, solar loans, home loans, and credit cards, you can turn your plans into progress. And your next move is unstoppable.
Visit stanbicbank.com.gh to get started or call 0302 815 789.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Very good afternoon to you and welcome to today's edition of Joy Business Masterclass. Masterclass is powered by Joy Business and is brought to us by Goyle. Goyle, good energy. Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. Masterclass comes your way every Wednesday at 1:15 p.m. and runs all through to 2 p.m. here on your superstation, Joy 99.7. My name, as always, is Yaw Anim Barnafo and I'm glad to be your host for today's edition of Masterclass. Last week here on the show, we had our first resource person come through under the Startup Dialogue series where we share stories, real life stories of entrepreneurs in the field. And I love this particular part of the show because then we get to hear the practical experiences of entrepreneurs when we have shared all of the business principles here in the studio. A very big thank you going out to Alfred Opare Safro for coming through and sharing wonderful thoughts with us. Alfred is the CEO of Zulu Desk Careers. And in my conversation with him, I took away a number of things just for the purpose of those who missed the show. I'll just go through them briefly. He shared with us something that looked like the semblance of the UK Job Centre for those of us who have traveled after school to go and look for work in the UK. I can't speak for the US people, but the UK guys. The Job Centre principle where you go to find jobs because, again, the second thing is that the congregation of employers looking for employees and employees looking for employers. There are a lot of people who are still looking for jobs. They're writing applications. Some have written 100, 200 applications. They still can't find the right job. And it's not because they're not qualified. Because everyone is qualified to do something, at least at the barest minimum. And every employer is looking for that particular skill. And so Zulu Desk Careers sort of creates that ecosystem that brings people together. I'm sure you're wondering, where have they been all this time that I've been looking for a job? The other thing that Alfred does with Zulu Desk is that he also provides a free access to internet in his office. So free internet, free computers, and advice for people who want to send their job applications across. Today, everyone is on TikTok, everyone is on Facebook. So maybe you have credit or you have internet. But if you don't have internet, Zulu Desk and you're in Accra, Zulu Desk Mix is available, and there are people who will advise you how to fashion your CV so that it's more presentable, how to attract employers. The last thing he also did is that he has office space available for co-sharing. So for those of you who have started your businesses, like we're going to find out today, you don't have an office, you don't have money to rent an office, and you have, let's say, partners coming in for a quick meeting, you want to be able to work out of shared spaces until you're able to have your own office. Zulu Desk also offers that. I'm sure the question on your mind is, how or where do I find them? Go online and just click Zulu Desk Careers, Alfred Opare Safro, and you'll find them. And this was the last one that blew my mind about what he's doing yesterday. He says that, I've created a system where once you plug in your CV, we help you to do that. You tick a certain feature on the system, and while you are sleeping and you are not doing anything, your CV is applying for jobs. I'm holding on to that. That was sinking. You know how LinkedIn does it for those who use LinkedIn. Once you go on LinkedIn and you put your CV there, it helps you and it keeps matching. Well, there's someone doing it here in Ghana as well, and it's not even about LinkedIn. You go there while you're asleep, your CV is applying for jobs. It cannot be better than that. So go find Alfred and the team today, Zulu Desk. And if you missed that show, by all means, go to our Facebook page or our X page or our YouTube page and watch that show for yourself. It's there for you to watch and learn everything from it. Today we go into another conversation. We have another Ghanaian, I always call the Ghanaian of renown and repute, Ghanaian entrepreneur who has dared to venture into entrepreneurship. A lot of people have sunk going into entrepreneurship. We hear that the statistics will tell you that a lot of businesses which start do not do well beyond the first 5 years. But we find people who have done well, then we want to bring them here and have that conversation with them. And my guest for this afternoon is the lead engineer of a company called Go Grocery. Go Grocery. I'll tell you his name, but he's a technology enthusiast. He's a product strategist with over 15 years of experience building solutions across health, tech, fintech, ed tech. I'm sure that's education and consumer applications. And he's a co-founder and leader of File 8. Is it File 8? 16. File 16. Hey, my Roman numerals, File 16. And he leads a team of developers who put all of this together. Lately, he's begun to look at how he can bring all of that tech experience to bear in the field of agriculture. And I like that a lot of young people are doing that. Manye, the Ghanaian farmer, good afternoon to you if you're listening. She was here on the show. There's a gentleman here in the studio who can leverage tech to help the work that you are doing. So please reach out to him after the show. My guest for this afternoon's conversation is Mac Aboagye Amo. Mark, this one I'll do the drum roll with you for my mouth. Welcome to Masterclass. We heard about your story. We're excited about it. We know there are millions of Ghanaians out there who are also doing their own thing, particularly on the back of COVID. You find that there's a lot of innovation. Now people are trying to do things for themselves, either as a mainstream endeavor or as a side hustle. Now, yes. So people are looking for different side hustles to be able to try and make it work. And so when I hear people like you, your story, and when we spoke backstage, you told me that, I'm going to tell you my story. It's not just Go Grocery, my brave papa. So we want to hear the story.
Okay.
And this is what it's meant to do. It's meant to, number one, inspire someone who's listening to say, he went through where I am now, and he didn't stop. It didn't stop him, and he went through it. So it means that there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's not just a saying. Number two, once I put my mind to it, I can do it. So your story today is just to inspire someone. And who knows? There may be someone listening who says, I want to invest in that young man. They may reach out to you after the show. So tell us, first of all, who's Mac?
Okay.
Let's get to know you a bit. Who's Mac? And,
Mr. Barnafo.
Yeah?
So
Call me Yaw. Call me
Mr. Yaw. Oh, Yaw.
Just call me Yaw.
We are in a country where we've grown from going to school to looking for jobs and then trying to stay in the working environment and typically trying to make your earnings out of that. Mark is someone who tried to dare differently from that from the very onset of his career. So Mark went to Laboni.
Okay. So all the Laboni old students, your boys in the studio?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Which year group?
2002.
Okay.
We finished.
So you guys would have, no, not yet. Have you done your 25 years yet?
It's supposed to happen ending of this year.
Are you on the committee?
No.
Please, your executives should come for you. But go ahead and tell us. So after Laboni, what happened?
So from Laboni, Mark doubled between schools. So the story where you finish school, you know you're smart, you get the grades, but you don't get into university because you typically have one mind of where you want to go. And
was it for want of help?
No.
Or it was just that you knew what you wanted to do, and at the time it wasn't going to university?
It was, I wanted to go to university. I actually applied for just tech. I didn't want to go to any other school.
Why tech though?
I wanted to be far away from home. Okay. I'd always been in a crowd.
And it's the story of most people.
Yes.
I know, in fact, one of my friends, he's my big brother. He looks like me. He knows I'm talking about him. He was born on Legon campus. He was born at Legon Hospital. He went to school at Legon Primary. Then he went to Presec Small. Then he came back to University of Ghana.
I wanted away from Accra.
Yeah.
So I decided to go to tech. But that did not work out. I had to go to Regent University.
Okay.
And in a year's time, I switched back to tech.
What did you study in school?
I did science in SS and then moved on to computer science.
So at some point you did computer science.
Yes.
And it was
So
in the university.
All the time I was in university was
Right.
computer science. So did computer science for typically 5 years, which is 1 year regent and then 4 years intern.
You know, in the last 5 years, computer science has so evolved.
Yes.
Back in the day, we used to call it IT. Now there's software. There's about
Yes.
15 different specializations in, innovation.
Now there's even
hardware.
business
All
in
sorts of
IT.
things. But my point is this: that did you want to? It's your hunger for tech that took you to university,
Yes.
and then you did computer science
Yes, sir.
for that length of time.
Yes.
5 years you mentioned. When you were about to leave school, there was always this thing about the world out there. The world out there's like some big animal waiting to catch you, and there's about 5,000-10,000 people who graduate every year from one university. So across the universities, we're talking about 50K people who graduate every year. Did you have in mind what you were going to do with computer science at the time? What year was
There's a
this?
story
What year
to
was
that.
this?
This is somewhere in the 90s.
Late
Before the-
90s?
Yeah, before the
Y2K.
2000 Y2K.
This is where I was
scare.
going with my question.
Before the Y2K scare, I was just there and we got introduced to computers in school. This is looking at a DOS computer. He has nothing on it.
MS-DOS.
MS-DOS. And
Mavis
that
Beacon.
just-
You will never
it
learn
was
to
just
type
a
this way.
fancy- you wanted to be in the computer lab all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And that passion also drew me into while I was in SS, even though I was doing science, I was mostly trying to find my way around cafes. At that time they went so what Zulu Desk is doing now was the practice then, where there was you go pay for internet
And then you
and
sit
then
in the
you
cafe.
yes, so it became the thing where you just
But did you have a business idea by the time you were leaving school?
no, I just wanted to be in
Tech.
IT, tech.
So let's fast forward to your first business attempt or endeavor. What drove you to it, and what was the endeavor?
So a similar passion. I'd finished doing some courses online. I was ready to actually dive into my own kind of fintech space. At that time, there wasn't mobile money, and this is somewhere 2016. There wasn't mobile money, and all the GIPS processes were still under. I'd been in the banking sector for a while, so I knew some, and I'd worked with some IT companies. So I had a fair idea of what I wanted to do, and
What did you want to do? You wanted to make things easier for people?
Yes, I wanted to make payments easy.
Payments easier.
Yeah, payments easy, and it transcended what mobile money was then. So interoperability was not available. People could not transfer from one network to another network. So I was just looking for opportunities to just build a solution.
So what business endeavor did it lead you to start?
So we started a pay-in. That's the app. The app was supposed to do a transfer from whichever network that you're on to settle on any other network. It ran an
You actually set up the business.
Yeah, we actually ran
What was
the
it called?
business. TechLoft.
Tech Loft.
Yes.
Right. And this was what year?
This was 2017.
It was you and who and
Me
who
and
and
a
who?
cousin.
You and a cousin. So
Yeah.
it's always like that.
Yeah,
It's you and
always
someone.
like that.
So tell us about your first success in the business. Your first end-to-end business you actually delivered.
Nice. So
And that's Tech
Yes,
Loft.
and the
Because I know
Tech
you have a few other businesses which
Yes.
we're going to rush into.
So we modeled this payment structure for settling with some microfinance institutions where they had multiple customers and always wanted to settle to those customers.
So how did this work briefly? Was it on the
So-
phone? Was it on the
It's
computer?
we created actually one for enterprises or businesses and one for customers.
Okay.
So the one for customers was a mobile app. You download it regardless of the mobile network you're on.
And which year is this, by the way?
This is 2017, 2018.
Okay, so recently,
Yeah.
right.
You're able to transfer money from your phone to settle on the other person. We incorporated a structure where if you're friends and you go out to have lunch or dinner, you're able to share the bill between yourselves. So, and then settle on one particular account. All this is whilst people were still, it wasn't easy. We're still struggling.
Actually, talking about, my mind is going to the BlackBerry pin, but that was much
Yeah.
earlier. So it was a community of like-minded
Yes.
people who had the same thing,
Yes.
and they needed to have it in order to receive settlement, right?
Yes. Yes.
But how did that business go?
So we had a lot of investor drawbacks because payment wasn't something that was, and Bank of Ghana.
What was
bringing in.
required to set it up in terms of money?
So we run. So we had a heavy capital setup.
How much are we talking
Because we're
dollars?
thinking about rent. We had rental at East Legon at the time. We had infrastructure, or like machines and everything for all the
Service.
stuff. Yes, we had service and everything. And in if you're starting a business,
So
now I know that's not the right way to
Learning
go.
points. Now he knows.
Yeah.
So what was your startup cost then?
Startup cost was around
just average.
100K Ghana.
100,000 cedis.
Yes.
But you were unable to raise that.
No.
So clearly, then you revise your steps.
Yes.
So the learning point here from the first learning point is that if you're starting a business, if you're not able to raise the funds you require for the barest minimum, try and do the barest minimum.
Yes.
Because you see, if you go beyond the barest minimum, it may be difficult to raise the capital.
Definitely.
And because you've not done it before, you don't have
And you also
track
don't know
record. So
even
nobody will
when-
put their money
Yes.
in it.
You also hardly know when returns will start coming in. And that was also the problem. You're starting a new business, you've not piloted it, you don't know who's going to take this on. So your expectations should not be what draw you into starting the business. It's your desire to make that solution
So we're
work.
saying have a positive mindset but be realistic.
Yes.
Did that business last long? How long did it last for?
So we actually broke band somewhere around 2021 during the COVID period. A lot of the people had traveled out. A lot of the businesses had.
So between
fallen.
2017 and 2021, did you make any profits?
We actually typically just broke even. We were on the verge of looking for profit, and then COVID started. So then
So it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. No, it was a good business. It was a business.
Is it still
that-
registered?
Yes, it's still registered.
Would you like to go back to it sometime?
So the vision evolves, and that's something I've come to learn. Another thing is business has its legalities to it. So sometimes whilst you're evolving with your vision, you also know if the people you're in the business also are the same people to continue that same
Learning
business.
points.
Yes.
I totally understand you. Let's talk about Go Grocery, which is the main company we spoke about. How did that start? When did that start? Tell us
So
about
Go
all those,
Grocery
all
has
those
actually
stories.
been longer than all the businesses. I
Right.
actually,
When did that start?
It started as a farmer, right after service, doing work.
This was which year?
This is somewhere 2022, 2012, between 2012 and then
Okay.
2014.
Okay. Have you registered it though as a business now?
It's registered as a product for a business.
As a product?
Yes.
Right.
So the business name is File 16.
Okay.
Right.
Is
So-
File 16 registered?
Yes, File 16 is registered.
Okay. And this was in 2012,
File 16 is actually registered this year.
this year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Go Grocery was a concept I had for farmers because I had just gotten into farming, chicken farming, actually poultry farming, and I actually raised birds for the Christmas season. Within my busy schedule, I was running a shift system of work. This I was at shift some days, off shift some days. So use that model to typically learn how the chickens are to be cared for. Put it down on paper. I was like, okay. So as the farmer, I need to structure how I actually take care of these.
But there were
birds.
blueprints. People were doing poultry long
Yes.
since long before
It
you
wasn't-
decided
it
to
wasn't
do.
on computers.
Right, I see what you
people
mean.
were actually doing it and getting people to care for it. But I wanted to bring a solution that other people could also adopt.
So you wanted an automated system to take care of the birds.
Not to take care of the birds, to monitor how you watch the birds. So as a farmer, you have a structure for caring for your animals or caring for your farm. So that structure is on paper, or it's for you something you actually know what to do, whether documented or not documented, right? In our time now, even for farmers, there are a lot of documentations that you're supposed to have, like EPAs, everything, certifications, just to make sure that farming culture fits and is bringing out food that everybody should be able to take in. Unfortunately, all of these things are hardly documented. If you're a farmer, you can start it anywhere without even getting certifications. You're left.
I think
to
the view has always been that you want to raise chickens for Christmas, raise the chickens.
Yes.
Let the chickens be ready. How many times they ate, how many times they didn't
No
eat.
matter.
And I'm not saying it's very important. I'm just saying that's been the approach this side of things.
Yes.
Until recently, where we're learning to standardize something like the introduction of the Africa Free Trade Continental Area. Now there are standards.
Yes.
Now you're selling your chicken not just to Ghana. Somebody is sitting in Cameroon
Wants
and
to
they,
buy
and they want to know what kind of feed you are giving your chicken because of chemicals. Because they're going to eat that chicken. It's going to, the trace minerals and all of that. So now standards are more important than ever.
Yes.
But tell us, you obviously, what was the first time you made your first sale and first fail? Tell us about first sale and first fail for Go Grocery.
So for Go Grocery, first sale was 2015. I had just finished my first bunch of it was 100 beds. And
You bought 100 beds to start.
yes, it was something I did without.
Is this something you do again today?
I actually still do.
No, if you are someone is listening,
No, if you're
they want
starting,
to start,
don't start with 100 beds.
Why
because
not?
you actually want to learn how the beds, and even from, I had someone brood for me, right? I did not know how to take care of the beds from the onset. I had to transport them. I did not know how to transport them. The first 100 beds were success because I had a lot of help coming in.
did you lose any of the birds?
Lost a few. We
How
lost
many?
and we lost them during the harvest period, so they weren't even considered losses because if you 4GD, we had to just.
It's
find
called
a way
contingency.
Yes, we had to find a way to just make sure that these birds don't go to waste, right? But that's another reason why this becomes a critical process for those that are venturing into the farming process. You want to be sure of everything, and it's out there. The knowledge is there. The processes are there. You would be able to go through it and actually sell all your 100 beds and not make a loss. Actually make exceeding profits, because poultry is very profitable. You could buy a chick for about 10 cedis and earn at the point of sale around 200 cedis on that bed. You're typically not
Like
going
almost 2,000%.
Yes, but you're going to be spending on feeding and everything for let's say broilers from start to 8 weeks of this thing. You should have about 8 weeks of feeding these animals, right? And they're not going to eat all the feed if they are a small number. If you have a big number, then you're actually talking.
Suddenly, I want to go into poultry.
But
let me ask you this though.
creative.
How do you manage temperature control? And I know there are a lot of poultry farmers who are listening. When we get interactive in a few minutes, please pick up that phone, give us a call, and let us hear and learn from your experience. If someone is listening and they want to go into poultry just because you talked about it. There was a guy here on the show who talked about snail farming, and everybody wanted to go into snail farming. That's the whole idea. Let's whip up excitement.
Yes.
Let's share knowledge. Let people make their own decisions whether they want to do it or not. Talk to me about temperature control, housing, temperature control,
Yes.
feeding, medication for the birds.
All these are typically easy know-hows, right? To feed the birds on even their medications. Some of the medications you just have to put it in their water and give it to them at the right time. Some you have to inject them, but those you may want to get experts to help you with, right? Temperature control is typically you might even want just a single bulb or even some coal pot with lint and fire in a corner somewhere where they can just gather around it. You don't keep it too close to their person because they can also get bent, right? But in some places they even use plastic bags to cover the excess airways that come into it so that the room stays in its own temperature the whole day. It's based on the farmer. The standard the process or the practice is based on the farmer's learning. So if you're someone in Accra, which is very hot, you want to do it in a way where you don't kill the birds by getting it too hot. If you're
Can you lose some of the birds if it's too cold or too hot? You can.
Yes, temperature
Especially
actually,
when they're younger,
yes,
right?
especially when they're young.
Tell us about selling the birds, because for me the most important thing has always been how you plug in from breeding into marketing
sales.
And what are the cycles of breeding? How long does it take?
So for broilers, 8 weeks, you should be able to sell your birds. 8 to 12 weeks.
You're in the
That's
market.
like 3 months. Yeah, you're ready to go.
Wow.
Yes. For layers, you're looking to care for them roughly 6 months before they start laying eggs, but you can run them through
6 months
for 2 years. Yes.
if you want them to lay eggs.
Yes.
But if you're just selling to for the meat,
8 weeks, 12
8
weeks.
weeks.
That's 3 months.
okay. Let me ask this question though. I mean, of course, when they're laying eggs, they're reproducing, and so
Yes.
that's going to take a bit of time. In terms of the feed, are there any concerns?
So I would advise anyone who's getting feed, learn the feed. The feed formulas affect how the birds also grow. And if you are into, let's say, poultry farming and you're doing layers, there's feed concentrations for different stages of these layers, right? When you want them to grow bigger, when you want them to lay eggs, when you want them to actually continue producing even more eggs or better size eggs, right? And if it's just for broilers too, you also want to focus on getting them the size, because broilers, you keep them for shorter, but you want them to get a bigger size.
Bulk.
Yes.
I know that the point is moot about whether or not there's a ready market for chicken in Ghana. As for chicken, I understand. But I also do know that for every agricultural product in Ghana, there is a cartel. And until you start to sell your produce, you don't know there are cartels, even for pineapples. When it's time to buy, the people who buy, they will show you that there is a cartel.
Yeah.
How do you manage that process? How do you practically plug in to who is ready to buy? Do you need to work on that end also?
So on what we are trying to do with, and I'll speak from the angle of Go Grocery now, right? What we are trying to do with Go Grocery is have that marketplace connect, where that cartel system is broken down. So
But can you break the cartel? Cartel,
you
yeah.
can only try.
Sure.
And it even helps the cartel, right? Because this is a system. It's like having Alibaba or having an Amazon, right? It's not necessarily.
I guess the question I'm asking is, how do you find your customers?
Yeah.
How do you find them?
So I find them by posting. I started with posting them online. I had a community.
Social media.
Yes, social media. I had a community at church. I had a community in the office. People knew I was doing this.
So the lesson there is maximize or lean on your community,
Yes.
your own community. Start from there.
Start from the community.
But chicken is everywhere. What was the incentive? Was it pricing? Did you do a pricing thing to let them come to you?
So first try was a pricing thing, but then my chickens were different in a way where I tried to give them more natural feed, so they tasted extra to this, right? This put them in a different setting, and they were always ready. Like, people were actually waiting for these because they tasted quite different from what they got on the market.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. It's interesting. If you just tuned in, this is Masterclass here on your superstation Joy 99.7. We'll take a quick message from our sponsors. We come back shortly.
Your favorite on-air business development program, Joy Business Masterclass, is in session, and you can interact with us on Facebook via the Joy 99.7 FM or Joy Business pages. If you tweet, the handle is at Joy 997 FM or at Joy Business GH. Don't forget to hashtag JB Masterclass. You can also call us on 0302 216541 or send your questions and contributions through to the WhatsApp number 0551 111997, and our facilitators will address your concerns. Attention everyone, class is in progress.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, this is Masterclass. We're interactive right now. Pick up that phone, give us a call. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. That's 0302 216 541. Or you can send us your comments on 055 1111997. That's 055-1111997. If you're driving, please do not text while you drive. We definitely want you to arrive alive, but otherwise send us your comment on 055-1111997. Or pick up that phone, give us a call on 030221654. I have some comments on social media. I'll be taking them shortly, but just to remind you that today's edition of Masterclass is brought to us by Goyle. Goyle, they say good energy. Goyle. You're going to tell us about the other things you do on Go Grocery, because it's not just the chickens, but I've got a couple of comments on social media. Let's see if we can take those comments, and then we come back briefly to you. Quite a few comments. Okay, just keep your comments coming through. Send us those comments on 05511119997 and ask any question you want to ask. If you're also into poultry or some other kind of entrepreneurial endeavor, we will share with us, and then we can all be better for it. So, Mark, we come back to, apart from poultry, right? What else do you guys do, and how does the service work?
Okay. So Go Grocery service works with every type of farmer. We are looking to plug in whether you're a produce farmer, whether you're a cash crop farmer, whether you are into snails, whether you're into catfish, whether you're in whatever type of farming you do. What we find as the problem here is there's always wastage coming when it's time for harvesting, right? So Go Grocery is trying to grow a market ready for you, for the farmers. But we first need to onboard these farmers in and get their cycles adopted by the system. And that's the beauty of Go Grocery right now.
The cycles of readiness.
Yes.
Ready to market.
When the produce gets ready to market. So there could be farmers that are running 3, 4, 5 cycles at the same time, and they by themselves cannot predict when these will happen. What we've inputted in Go Grocery is an automated system where we actually track your story or your product cycle from if it's something that you're planting, from seed time when you're actually moving it to a bigger place, when you're bringing it to harvest. We try to predict this with you, so we interact with you in a way where you get to move, or we get to move with you till the item is ready.
I suppose that's primarily because, number one, you want to inspire the farmer to be better and more efficient. But number two, you, by the virtue of the excellence of what you do, create a certain expectation from your customers. And so you must walk the walk with the farmer to meet that expectation.
Definitely.
Because in the end, then that brings dual benefit to both you and the farmer as well.
Yes.
Right.
So the farmer gets to be inspired to actually know when their cycle is even due. So you might have planted your cassava in the village and left it, hoping that the rains will come and water it for you, and they would turn up into good cassavas. But with a system like this, you get prompts to actually find out, is this the stage of your plant? Is this the stage of the produce that you're bringing up? Is it at the level where you want it to be? You get to monitor it. We don't have that practice here. Most of the farmers are also using chemical waters and everything, right? So before we even we get you that education, we get you that practice where you know exactly what will make that.
How big is the team at Go Grocery?
We're a team of 5. We're a very small team.
A lean team.
Yes, very small team. Mostly developers. We've thought through this. Almost all of us have an inclination towards farming, and all we try to do is not just do this for just the farmers. We are learned people who want to also do farming for ourselves. So we also want to bring.
How many farmers do you have onboarded onto your ecosystem?
So as we stand now, we have roughly 10 to 15.
15.
Yes, we are piloting it with these people. We want to grow the pilot number, and starting this weekend, we have a marketing strategy to go into the villages, talk to the farmers in the.
I'll save you the work, okay? Because you see, the purpose of this of masterclass and of all these conversations is to put people in touch with each other.
Yeah.
So that Ghana can become better. And that's why I always say that life is too short for all of us to make the same mistakes. So we learn. There is a lady called Inyonam Mania. She was here on the show. She's called the Ghanaian farmer. Inyonam has access to all the farmers in Ghana. Inyonam, if you are listening to me, good afternoon to you. I just put you on the spot. Mark is going to get in touch with you.
Definitely.
But there is already various networks, like Inyonam's network, of farmers.
Yes.
People putting them together and putting them in touch with people on the front end. So Go Grocery, there are people who today will sit in the office and make a phone call, and shopping from Agbogbulushi gets delivered in a box to their house for a premium. But I like that process because in the middle of that, the woman in Makola boxes the tomato. Who picks it up? The dispatch guy. He delivers it. you're creating traction for the value chain.
Yes.
So we're creating employment. So for me, the value chain begins to grow when we begin to network. I don't need to go to Abuagye. I can pick up the phone and call. You don't need to go wherever.
Yeah.
Now I don't even need to pick the phone. I can pick my computer or just pick my phone instead of calling. Place my order. It comes to you. It goes to Enyonam. Enyonam sends it to some farmer. Turnaround time is whatever you agree for it to be.
And
I pay. It goes into some channel. Everybody gets their money. Everybody's happy.
Yes.
And Ghana becomes better for it.
And even the beauty is, even the Abuagye woman gets the chance to also order her bulk from the farmer that Enyonyam has on her books.
And I always say this, and I gave this example when I spoke to Alfred on the show the other day. One of these days, I was craving tatale, and I didn't know where to find it. It's amazing how we pick our phones these days when we're looking for gas repair, the nearest gas repairer to me. They'll say, turn on your location. And I spoke to a woman called Auntie Harriet. She's in Adabraka. Auntie Harriet, good afternoon to you. And she spoke to me very nicely. Hello, Mr. Barnafo, XYZ, we will have it in. Within 30 minutes, the rider was at my door. I've never seen Auntie Harriet before. But what is happening? Now she's getting traction to her business. And the business is going to grow.
Yes.
And I don't have to be in her physical space.
Yes.
'Cause the world is becoming a global village, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So let's make that point a bit more strongly on your wins. What are some of the success stories with Go Grocery? If you can share them briefly.
So we typically found a way to connect how someone grows their catfish, right? Catfish at a the catfish was at 1 kg. Usually when you sell it off at 1 kg weight, right? And the person is looking for buyers. This is somebody who is lost in the system, does not know who the next person getting their catfish is. Go Grocery was just based off Connect, was able to find somebody who needs to also pick up catfish at their shop and sell it out, and was able to just connect this catfish person in Wager to this business at Achimota, who had absolutely no connection whatsoever. They did not even know themselves. They did not even interact by themselves, right? All they had to do was, there was a request, there was a demand,
you put them together in an ecosystem.
Yes.
You see, and the thing about the food industry is that people don't play with their food. People don't like to wait for food. People, when they want to eat, they want to eat. And so vendors also don't like to disappoint customers. This is the reason why most vendors know the source of their raw material. I know I'm going to Inshona to buy my calamari. I don't want to say Mac is bringing it, and Mac is bringing it, and Mac is bringing it, and Mac is not bringing it. So I go there. It means that you have to win the trust of the people you work with.
Yes.
Talk to me about that. What has been the experience? Has there been disappointments? Has there been
a lot?
You know,
and
what have you done to make it better?
There's always a struggle when it comes to meeting customers at their point when they need that supply. What you want to do is typically reduce the expectation. That's how I find it.
So you overpromise? No, you
yes,
underpromise.
You underpromise, but you overdeliver. Yeah. So you put pressure on the one bringing the goods, the farmer, deliver beforehand, right? And then you give the person who is asking for the item the chance to also get the item right on the time when they want it.
Exactly.
So, and that's the beauty here.
It's all behind the scenes.
Yes, it's all behind the scenes. It's all technology running right now.
Right.
The farmer's prediction of his harvest gives you that know-how to know when this is going to happen. So the person coming in to ask for, I don't sell, the totally will not be on
No, it was just my example. Yeah, but and I've patronized your goods. It's all meat, all vegetables.
Yes. So you want cauliflower, and you're getting cauliflower at the highest quality because the farmer is on his toes to deliver before harvest season ends. And we also know that this is good harvest season, and we can always supply you right on time.
So, I'm going to do this for you because you're on the show. I was going to wait till the end to do this, but where do we find you? And if you're listening, this is Masterclass. Let's put this to the test because we want to build our own economy. Yeah. So your next purchase of tomatoes, okay? Pick up the phone. I mean, Mark is going to put his details out. and let's test Mac's system and see if it works. If it works, it'll be an example for a lot more entrepreneurs who can come in and they can leverage and get other people to even come on board. Pick up the phone, call Mac's system, and let's see if they deliver the tomatoes to you. What is your sphere of cover when it comes to delivery, so that we don't put too much pressure? Because I can assure you that by the time the show ends, you get a call from some place where you don't deliver to, and then now you say, "But I heard on Joy FM that
I'm gonna come in there." So
we know. I mean, it's not too big now.
Yes.
So what's your sphere of cover?